Are you thinking about moving to Florida in 2022?
Here's what you need to know.
Right now, the market is very hot in Florida, and by that we mean a lot of demand, not a lot of supply. Places are selling for a lot of money.
Yes, and in most instances, those sales are cash deals. If you're financing a home in 2021 or 2022, it's a tough spot to be in because most sellers are going to prefer a cash deal over a conventional loan or a VA loan or FHA loan.
She's a realtor, by the way. If you're interested in moving to the area, call, text, email 941-221-1897.
I hear from you guys all the time and I love it.
With her being a realtor, you've had a good idea of what's going on, how things are shaping, evolving. What do you think we're looking at for 2022?
I think we're moving into 22. It's going to be the same deal. Places are still going to go over asking, multiple offer situations, houses selling very quickly. A lot of times, even though you think the house is still available, it's really not. The seller just decides they want to keep the house on the market for a little bit longer, just hoping to get either a cash offer or
bidding war.
Yes. And that's creating a lot of frustration, not only with buyers, but with agents as well, because there's really nothing you can do unless you have all that cash money. You can't compete with that.
What is your best advice for someone that is looking to move in 2022? What do you think they can do to position themselves? You know, if they really want to make the move here, like what's something that they could do, or do you recommend they just wait?
I think if you're planning to move, don't just put your hopes and dreams on hold because the market is crazy. We have had luck with buyers and trying to get them into their new homes. It is tough. Don't do it on a time crunch. Plan ahead. Save as much money as you can because the down payment, even if you're financing, a hefty down payment is going to do a lot for you.
Places are going over asking, bidding wars, all that. What is your advice on that? What would you tell people?
I would say go in with your best offer right away, which is what I tell my buyers all the time. Go in with your best offer. Don't look at the market in the lens that everything's inflated or I'm not paying that much more money for this house that last year it would have been like a couple thousand less. Because if you keep looking at it that way, you're just not gonna move for a while because I don't see the market slowing down for a while, especially not in Florida.
Do you see prices continuing to go up? Do you think at some point they're going to level out, maybe dip slightly, maybe crash?
I don't think it's going to crash. I think it might level out, but it probably won't be for a while just because we still have all that demand with no inventory. So we have people wanting to move down from other states and we don't have the inventory, so supply and demand, right? So if we don't have the inventory, the demand's still gonna be high, and when a house hits the market, it's just gonna go quickly.
I know you've mentioned this to me a few times, maybe share some of it with them. You know, you've had some stories and things like that as far as the waiting list for new construction and just people having these bidding wars. Share a little bit about some of like what's going on the ground level as far as that supply, demand, price, all that stuff.
The supply and demand issues is not just with new construction or just with like existing homes, it's also with rentals. A lot of people are being put on wait lists for rentals, and rentals around here are so expensive too that why not buy? Like,
yeah,
why
it's
are
more,
you,
right?
Yeah, why are you going to be paying your landlord's rent or your landlord's mortgage instead of paying your own mortgage and creating wealth that way?
I know some of the places that we've gone to for clients that you've had, like for new construction, they got on waiting lists. Like, talk to us about like what that process is like, how many people are on, and do you see that changing? Do you see those numbers starting to go down on those waiting lists?
With new construction, it's everything depends on the builder on how they want to handle things. Some will put you on a waiting list and then work their way down the list. Some don't put you on a waiting list, but then they're creating that bidding war. So like if they release, the other thing too is they're only releasing like 4 or 5 lots per month. Now they're creating that bidding war, and now you have to put in an offer on the lot, and you have to go in with your best offer because if not, someone else is gonna take it. So I don't see that slowing down anytime soon either, just because the waiting lists these builders have are just crazy.
Like I know some of them didn't they say they were like in the hundreds of people?
Yeah.
Are they still like at that, or is it at least going down a little, or is it pretty much still there?
I mean, it's going down a little bit. The more time, the more people they're adding. So even though they're working their way down and trying to make their lists smaller, it's still growing because there is just so many people wanting to move down. And for a lot of people, the new construction route, it's, like that's what's more ideal for them.
So we've talked, I know previously on the channel with the real estate market update we did 4 or 5 months ago about, who would this be a good situation to move for? I think that's probably going to be similar. Would it be like people coming from certain areas?
Yeah, it all depends where you're coming from, and even like within Florida, like I said before, don't put your hopes and dreams on hold just because the market is crazy. We don't know when it's going to slow down. If we had a crystal ball, that would be amazing. People working from home, it's ideal because now you are able to just transfer your work here. You don't have to look for a job here. You already have the job, so it's easier to get approved for a loan if you're financing. People who are just here for winter, like, yeah, why would you put that on hold? You know, like if you're tired of the snow and the cold and you want to start coming down to Florida, you can do it right away. If you have the money, if you have the cash, it's a great time to purchase. Or if you're just investing and you want to rent out your property, it's a great time because even though you might think you're overpaying for the property, the rental income on that property is very crazy just because there is a lot of demand in rentals as well. So now you don't even have to try so hard to find someone to rent that out to. Also, people coming from like New York, California, all those states with higher tax and with income tax. We don't have an income tax here in Florida, so you are going to save money that way. And just the way the home values are a lot higher there, so you sell right now and you might think you're overpaying here, but think about it, you wouldn't be getting that much more money in a normal market on your home either.
You're gonna get 100 grand more on your house and you pay 50 grand more here.
Right.
That works in your favor if that's the way it works.
Exactly.
Or you downsize. And also one thing to point out, I know a lot of people that are moving from those states is because they want to get out of there because of government, restrictions or just the way the government is. If that's something that you feel like is gonna really make your life better, then yeah, move to Florida now.
Yeah,
Why wait? So talk to us a little bit about the importance of ending up in the right area, because we checked out almost all of Florida. We got to get to the northern half a little more, but we've seen pretty much all of Florida from Orlando down, and it's a big state. There's a lot of big differences.
Florida is just so different depending on what area you're in. Like if you're in Central Florida, South Florida, like it's just like not almost like a different country, but it is like little different areas, little different states. You do want to end up in the right area, and our job here on this channel, it's not to sell you on Venice or Sarasota, is to inform you of like the different things there are to do, the different ways of life, and for you to make that decision for yourself. We don't want to sell you on a city. We want you to make your own decision because we don't know what you like.
And there's so many different vibes to all across the state. A good realtor will help you a lot. Like our realtor was amazing when we first moved to Orlando area. She got us exactly what we wanted. She had our back, helped us throughout the process, and that's what she does too, because we went through the experience firsthand. And doing it and going through that process, like coming from Wisconsin, was such an incredibly
smooth ride.
Smooth ride, as smooth as it could be.
Yes.
With her.
I mean, there is always going to be certain things that happen that make it a little bit stressful, but your agent should have your best interests in mind, and they're gonna take a lot of that stress off of your plate, because moving from a different state, you don't need that. So there's a lot that goes behind the scenes. There's always certain things that are gonna make the process a little more stressful, so I don't want them to be stressing on that on top of the moving.
And with us making the move, we did a lot of research on the state. We watched a lot of YouTube, which is very helpful. That's an amazing thing that, we got a ton of stuff on our channel of a lot of Florida, especially the Venice, Inglewood, Northport, Sarasota areas. That was helpful. Niche.com, Area Vibes, Google. So we used a lot of those resources. But I think an important takeaway is that going through that process, we saw it firsthand. And I don't know about you, but me personally, like I was making these little mental notes of like the things that helped, the things that didn't, the things that I need to know. What are the resources out there? And a good realtor should be kind of guiding you towards some of those things, which we went through it. Now we kind of know, like, okay,
this is what you can use. This you'll find is helpful. Or even just like for us, what we'll do is if we have someone out of state that wants to move down, we'll just go to the house and just like take a video of the house or the neighborhood.
Or both.
Another tool that comes in very handy, it's Trulia. You can look at houses on Trulia, but you can also look like at the crime rate, and it'll show you like on the map, it'll show you like little, I think it's like blue dots of like things that have happened.
Yeah,
so
there's like dark blue and
yeah,
it'll actually show you the crimes that happen if you want to know.
Near the house, so that's very helpful too.
Yeah, and actually we'll link down below in the description. We did a video. It didn't get a lot of views, but it should. Honestly, it's like 15 must-know resources before you move to Florida. That right there will give you a ton of ideas on things that you should know that can help you out. But I mean, if you're looking to move to like Sarasota, Gulf Coast area, like we got you covered. And that's the other thing. A good realtor should not steer you towards an area.
Yes.
Like we talk about like all the things that we love on the channel because those are the things that we love, but we also try to present the cons. But I think one thing about this area with between Northport, Sarasota, Venice, Inglewood, you have a lot of different options for like no matter what you like. You know, maybe you want more of a big city vibe, you got Sarasota. You want more small town, kind of rural feel, Northport's a good option. Inglewood's
Sleepy town.
yeah.
would be
Yeah, you know, some people are gonna like one and not the other, and that's fine. And that's what we want to present to you. I think that's really important though, that your realtor does that. Between those 4 cities, I feel like that gives almost everyone an option.
And your realtors should be asking those questions too, because like me as a realtor, I don't want to be making those decisions for yourself. I want you to tell me what you want. Are you looking for a big city, big-ish city? Do you want a small town? Like, I want you to tell me those things. And maybe you don't know, and that's okay, and we can figure it out together. But yeah, you don't want them to like steer you a certain direction just because it's more convenient for them. Like for us, Venice would be more convenient because we live in Venice, but we're not gonna steer you like come to Venice because maybe that's not your thing. Like maybe it's too small of a town. So Sarasota would work better for you.
A good realtor, they get their business from referrals. So if she sends you to a city that you're not gonna like, she gets no referrals. It doesn't help the business, and bad reviews, all that, right? So like long term, as far as her having a good business, we're gonna help you out. We're gonna make sure that you end up in an area that you love.
Right, and when you're moving from out of state, like you want your family and friends to eventually follow you. So I don't want to send you to a city that you're not gonna like, because then you don't want your friends and family to move down with you, right? Actually, you might want to even end up moving back because you don't like the area.
And one other thing to point out is if she knows you're not gonna like this area, like any of it, like Sarasota, Venice, Northport, any of that, like, you know, or just any realtor, and not just to put this about us, but like they're gonna waste their own time if they know the area is not for you. She doesn't want to put in all the time. Like if you know you want it, you need like Miami, big city. Sarasota might scratch that itch, but it's probably not quite big enough. Things like that are also things to put into consideration. An experienced realtor would know that. A newer one might just try to get any sale they can get.
If you're looking to move to the area, make sure to call, text, or email me. My information will be in the description box below. I hear from people every day and I love it.
Be sure to subscribe, turn on all notifications to catch the newest videos. Hit the like button if you found the video helpful.
Thanks for watching and
Live breezy.